Hello again. Many of you watching my channel have said that you appreciate how important it is to know about what's going on in Iran, which is the centre of anti-Israeli threats. Iran's clear intention is to exterminate Israel and wipe it off the map. So I'm doing another update. This is called Update 3. Iran, as I've mentioned, now has the means to deliver a nuclear warhead. So, as we move towards a possible preemptive strike on Iran's military capability, what else is Israel doing or has done? Well, on May the 25th, which is a couple of weeks ago now, apart from the huge military operation which I mentioned, Chariots of Fire, the IDF, Israel Defense Force, has admitted to its American allies that they arranged the assassination of Colonel Sayad Khodayee. That was on May the 25th. Now, this targeted killing in Tehran happened when two motorcyclists fired at the colonel in his car. The man was in a residential area, probably in his own flat or his own area, and he was an officer in the Revolutionary Guard Corps, which the US has designated. They've said that this is now a terrorist organisation. Iran is furious about that and has demanded that this label be removed from the Revolutionary Guards, otherwise it will not come back to the negotiating table about the 2015 nuclear deal, which at the moment is frozen. Israel is greatly opposed to these talks, but Biden has been trying to restart them. Israel told the American administration that this killing was meant as a warning to Iran to stop the covert group, which is called the Quds Force, Q-U-D-S, Quds Force, and Unit in particular 840. Now, Unit 840 within the Quds Force has been arranging abductions and assassinations of Israeli civilians and officials all around the world. So wherever you are, this Unit 840 has been threatening and abducting Israelis. Colonel Khodayee was the deputy leader of Unit 840. Now, Iran hasn't even admitted that the unit exists, and at his funeral celebrated as a martyred hero. Great crowds and acclamations for him. The fact that such a killing of a high official was made to look relatively easy means that Israel is now more confident to find weaknesses in the security of the Revolutionary Guard. In the past, when targeted individuals have been killed, drones have been used, like to kill the top nuclear scientist, Mohsen Faghrizadeh. I know when I pronounced that right. That happened in 2020. He was a key research expert in the development of uranium-based warheads. Now, I better back up a little bit because you may not know or may not remember what's going on in the Iranian nuclear deal. What is it? Well, in 2015, Iran agreed to dismantle much of its uranium enrichment program and allow international inspection in order that trade sanctions against it would be eased, because the country was suffering under great trade sanctions. Now, that trade deal was that trade sanctions wasn't seeming to be working, and Trump withdrew from the deal, the Iran nuclear deal, in 2018. Trump withdrew. So Iran began to re-extend its plans to attain its own nuclear weapons. This meant that new generations of centrifuges were built, such as those at the underground site in Natanz, which I mentioned. Now, Biden, on the contrary, has been saying that the US would return to the deal if Iran would keep to the original agreement of 2015 and restrict uranium enrichment and restrict its aims of making nuclear bombs. But Time has gone by, and in the meantime, while the deal has been frozen, Iran now has made enough fissionable material for at least 6 bombs. Now, I've mentioned the assassination of their top nuclear scientists, and also the US killed a top Iranian general, Qasem Soleimani, in January 2020. And so because of these assassinations, Iran has reacted furiously and said that the world is going to pay, the West is going to pay, and they'll get revenge. So it's taken all limits off the enrichment program. It can do what it wants. And it has completely ended the monitoring agreement with the international inspection team. So no more inspectors are allowed to go into the country to see what they're doing. Now, of course, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia hasn't helped, and it has greatly hindered the renewal of the nuclear deal. And Israel is not currently holding out much hope that Iran can be trusted. There's a bit of a difference of opinion within the Israeli intelligence leaders. They're not sure whether a no deal is better than a bad deal. But that debate is continuing in Israel. So in this climate of uncertainty, Israel is preparing to keep its military forces in battle-ready condition. Now, do let me know. This is, as I say, the third update on Iran. Hope that information was useful to you. But if you want me to continue with this kind of intermittent explanation of what's going on in Iran, do let me know in your comments. And next week I'll be back to how we can live victorious lives. Amen. I hope you've enjoyed the first week of that. I've been talking about joy, and I'll continue that again on Monday. I'll see you after the weekend. Bye-bye, and God bless you.